That's all true. I think that I had been responsible for so much of my life. And all of a sudden this window opened up where I was safe, I had money.
At 62, Demi Moore finally admits what we all suspected. We all loved Molly Jensen in Ghost. But what if the woman behind that confident smile was secretly drowning? What if every perfect image, every power couple moment, every record-breaking paycheck was just another way to prove something she never truly believed, that she was enough? Here's what they don't tell you. Demi's childhood was a nightmare. An alcoholic mother who tried to end her life multiple times, a biological father who vanished, a little girl who became the parent, desperately trying to save everyone around her. And that wound, it followed her everywhere. Through 3 public marriages that fell apart, through Hollywood's obsession with her body, through the relationship that made the world call her desperate, through decades of trying to be perfect when perfect was never possible. Was Bruce Willis really the stable, perfect husband everyone thought? Why did she embarrass herself with Ashton Kutcher? Or did she? And the question that haunted her for decades, why was being the most successful actress in Hollywood never ever enough? We're about to uncover the side of Demi Moore you never knew existed. Let's go back to the beginning, because if you want to understand Demi Moore, you have to understand where she came from. She was born Demetria Jean Gwines on November 11, 1962, in Roswell, New Mexico. Her mother, Virginia, was just 18 years old. Beautiful, troubled, and completely unprepared for motherhood. Her biological father, Charles Harmon, left before Demi turned 2. He was an Air Force airman who wanted nothing to do with the chaos Virginia brought into his life. So Virginia married Dan Gwines. He became Demi's stepfather, and he was an alcoholic too. The fights were constant. Screaming matches, broken dishes. Nights where young Demi would hide in her room, covering her ears, praying it would stop, but it never did. Her mother's drinking got worse. And then came the suicide attempts. Demi was the one who found her, multiple times. A child, maybe 7 or 8 years old, discovering her mother unconscious from an overdose, calling 911, trying to keep her breathing, doing everything a little girl shouldn't have to do. She wasn't the daughter, she was the caretaker, the fixer, the one responsible for keeping everyone alive. And when you grow up like that, you learn a very specific lesson. Love is conditional. You have to earn it. You have to be perfect. You have to save everyone. Because if you don't, they'll leave. Or worse, the family moved constantly, more than 30 times before Demi turned 14. New towns, new schools, no friends, no stability, just survival. But there was one escape. In high school, Demi discovered acting. For the first time in her life, she could be someone else, someone who didn't carry the weight of a broken home, someone confident, in control, loved. It felt like oxygen. Sadly, escaping that broken home would cost her in ways she never imagined. At 16, Demi Moore made a choice. She dropped out of high school and moved to Los Angeles, alone. No safety net, no family support. Just a teenage girl with a dream and a desperate need to get as far away from that childhood as possible. She took any work she could find. Modeling gigs that barely paid rent, commercial auditions where she'd wait for hours just to be told no. She was broke, constantly. Debt collectors called. She survived on ramen and cigarettes, but she kept going. In 1982, she landed a role on the soap opera General Hospital. Finally, a break, steady work, a paycheck. She played Jackie Templeton, an investigative reporter, and for the first time, people started noticing her. But here's what no one knew. Behind the scenes, Demi was struggling. She'd inherited her mother's demons, the drinking, the pills, the self-destruction. At 19 years old, Demi Moore checked herself into rehab. Think about that. A teenage actress in the early 1980s admitting publicly that she had a problem. That wasn't done back then. Addiction was shameful. It could destroy a career before it even started. But Demi did it anyway, because she refused to become her mother. When she got out, she started getting film roles. Blame It on Rio in 1984. Then came St. Elmo's Fire in 1985, where she joined the so-called Brat Pack. Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe, Ali Sheedy, Judd Nelson. They were young, hot, and Hollywood loved them. But Demi was different from the others. She was hungry in a way they weren't, because for them, acting was a career. For her, it was survival. At 18, she'd married Freddie Moore, a musician 12 years older than her. Looking back, the pattern was obvious. She was searching for the father figure she never had. Someone stable, someone who wouldn't leave. The marriage didn't last. By 1985, they were divorced. More auditions, more rejection. More roles that almost happened, but didn't. The constant, nagging feeling that she wasn't good enough, that she'd never break through. Then came the audition that would change everything, but almost didn't happen. In 1990, Demi Moore walks into an audition for a romantic thriller called Ghost. She wasn't the first choice. The studio wanted someone else, someone more established, more bankable. But the director, Jerry Zucker, saw something in Demi, a vulnerability mixed with strength, a realness that the other actresses couldn't quite capture. She got the part. The movie was simple. A man dies, becomes a ghost, and tries to protect the woman he loves from beyond the grave. Co-starring Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg. No one expected it to become a cultural phenomenon, but it did. That pottery scene, you know the one, became one of the most iconic moments in film history. Demi in that white tank top, clay spinning between her hands, Patrick behind her, the Righteous Brothers playing. It was sensual, romantic, and completely unforgettable. Ghost made over $505 million worldwide. It was the highest-grossing film of 1990, and Demi Moore became a household name overnight. Suddenly, everyone wanted her. She was beautiful, talented, and bankable. The offers poured in. But here's what people forget. When Ghost was filmed, Demi was pregnant with her first daughter, Rumor. She was dealing with morning sickness, body changes, and the terror of becoming a mother when her own mother had been such a disaster. She'd married Bruce Willis in 1987. He was already a massive star from Die Hard. Together, they became Hollywood royalty.
Are you surprised, Bruce Willis?
Yes.
Yes, I knew he would be. I mean, even though I went over everything yesterday, I knew he'd forget.
The power couple everyone wanted to be. On the surface, everything was perfect. In 1992, she starred in A Few Good Men alongside Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. In 1993, Indecent Proposal, where she played a woman who's offered $1 million to sleep with Robert Redford. The film was controversial, provocative, and a huge hit. Then Disclosure in 1994, where she played a powerful, sexually aggressive executive opposite Michael Douglas. Demi was taking risks, playing complicated women. Women who weren't likable, but were undeniably real. And then came 1996, Striptease. Demi Moore was paid $12.5 million to play a single mother who becomes a stripper. It was the highest salary any actress had ever been paid, ever. She'd made it. The little girl from Roswell, New Mexico, who used to call 911 for her overdosing mother, was now the most powerful actress in Hollywood. But the media didn't celebrate her. They obsessed over her body. How did she get that body? What diet was she on? What surgery had she had? Was she aging well? Was she aging at all? And then her mother, Virginia, did something unforgivable. She sold stories to the tabloids, personal painful stories about Demi's childhood, about the addiction, the chaos, the trauma. She turned her daughter's pain into profit. It was a betrayal Demi never fully recovered from, because once again, the message was clear. You are only valuable when someone can use you. The higher she climbed, the harder the industry and her own family tried to tear her down. From the outside, Bruce and Demi had it all. 3 beautiful daughters, Rumor, born in 1988, Scout in 1991, and Tallulah in 1994. A sprawling Idaho estate where they could escape the Hollywood madness, matching leather jackets at premieres. Inside jokes that made them laugh in interviews, they looked untouchable. But inside that perfect image, cracks were forming. Demi was obsessed with maintaining control over her body, her image, her career. The body dysmorphia that started during Ghost was getting worse. Every photo, every red carpet, every magazine cover became another test she had to pass. She worked out for hours every day, restricted her eating, scrutinized every angle in every mirror. It was exhausting. In 1997, she took on G.I. Jane, a film about a woman who joins the Navy SEALs and refuses to be treated differently because of her gender. Demi shaved her head. She trained like a soldier, push-ups, obstacle courses, weapons training. She wanted to prove she was tough, that she wasn't just a pretty face. The media mocked her anyway. The film underperformed at the box office. Critics were lukewarm, and just like that, the narrative shifted. Demi Moore was past her prime. At 34 years old, Hollywood had decided she was done. Meanwhile, Bruce was still Die Hard's John McClane, still the action star, still bankable, and he was always away. Filming in different cities, different countries, the distance between them grew. They tried to make it work. They really did. But by 1998, it was over. They announced their separation. The media lost its mind. Everyone wanted details: who cheated, who left, what went wrong with America's favorite couple. The truth was simpler and sadder than anyone wanted to admit. They'd grown apart. different goals, different needs, different versions of what they thought their lives would be. In 2000, the divorce was finalized and Demi disappeared. Fewer roles, less press. She was raising her daughters, trying to figure out who she was without Bruce, without the career that had defined her for so long. At 37, she felt invisible, past her prime, worthless. The wound from childhood, "You're only valuable when you're useful," was screaming louder than ever. She disappeared from Hollywood, and when she came back, no one was ready for what happened next. In 2003, a party in Los Angeles, Demi Moore, 40 years old, meets 25-year-old Ashton Kutcher. He's funny, charming, he makes her feel light in a way she hasn't felt in years. He's the goofball from That 70s Show and Punk'd. Completely different from Bruce's serious action hero energy. They start dating quietly, but in Hollywood, nothing stays quiet. When their relationship goes public, the media explodes. Cougar, desperate, midlife crisis. She's embarrassing herself. He's using her. She's trying to be young again. The headlines were relentless. But here's the thing. If Bruce had started dating a 25-year-old actress, the media would have called him a lucky guy. Men do it all the time. Leonardo DiCaprio has made a career out of it. No one blinks. But when a woman does it, she's pathetic. Demi didn't care, or at least she tried not to. Ashton made her happy. He was attentive, affectionate, and he seemed to genuinely adore her. In 2005, they got married. She glowed at the wedding. For the first time in years, she looked truly at peace. She took on a new role, stepmother figure to his career. She produced. She supported. She became Ashton Kutcher's wife in a way that felt both comfortable and quietly suffocating. And then the rumors started. Whispers about Ashton at clubs, photos of him with other women, stories from people who claimed to know more than they should. Demi tried to ignore it. She doubled down, worked out more, tried to be fun, spontaneous, the cool wife who didn't nag or complain, but deep down, she was unraveling. In 2011, on their 6th wedding anniversary, the cheating was confirmed, publicly. A woman came forward with details about an affair with Ashton. The tabloids ran with it for weeks. Demi was hospitalized shortly after. Exhaustion, substance abuse, a complete breakdown. The girl who'd spent her childhood saving her mother couldn't save her own marriage. In 2013, the divorce was finalized. The tabloid coverage was brutal. Every photo of Demi looking thin, tired, or sad became proof that she was falling apart. For a while, she was even estranged from her daughters. They didn't know how to help her. She didn't know how to let them. She'd hit rock bottom. But the question no one was asking was, why? Why did success never feel like success? Why did love always feel conditional? Why did a woman who had everything feel like she had nothing? In 2019, Demi Moore publishes a memoir called Inside Out, and for the first time, the world sees the full picture. In her own words, Demi lays it all out: the childhood trauma, the suicide attempts she witnessed, the alcoholic parents, the 30-plus moves, the feeling of being responsible for everyone else's survival before she could even tie her own shoes. She talks about the addiction, how she spiraled after her divorce from Bruce, how the Ashton years were some of the darkest of her life, even though they looked so glamorous from the outside. But here's the part that breaks your heart. Demi admits that even at the height of her success, when she was the highest paid actress in Hollywood, making $12.5 million per movie on magazine covers, invited to every party, she felt like a fraud. She never believed she deserved any of it, because the wound from childhood ran too deep. Her mother's beauty was her only currency, the only thing that got her attention, money, or men. And Demi learned the same brutal lesson. Your worth is your looks. Your worth is your usefulness. Your worth is what you can do for other people. So she chased perfection, the perfect body, the perfect roles, the perfect marriages. And when her body started aging, when her marriages fell apart, when Hollywood moved on to younger actresses, Demi's entire sense of self crumbled. She talks about the body dysmorphia, how every magazine cover that photoshopped her felt like proof that the real her wasn't good enough, how she starved herself, overexercised, and tried desperately to stop time. The Ashton years, she lost herself completely. She tried to be young, fun, spontaneous. She ignored her own instincts because she wanted so badly to be loved, to be chosen, to prove that even at 40, even at 45, she was still worth something. But love built on pretending to be someone else isn't love. It's performance, and Demi had been performing her whole life. The cheating, the divorce, the public humiliation, it all confirmed what she'd believed since childhood. I'm not enough. I'll never be enough. She spent years in therapy. Real, deep, painful work, unpacking the trauma, recognizing the patterns, forgiving herself for all the ways she tried to survive. Her daughters rallied around her. Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah became her anchors. They reminded her that she didn't need to be perfect. She just needed to be present, to be honest, to be their mom. And slowly, Demi started to heal. She talks about her regrets. I wish I'd known I was always enough. I didn't need to be perfect. I didn't need to save everyone. I didn't need to shrink myself to fit someone else's idea of who I should be. The truth is, Demi Moore spent decades fighting a war with herself. A war that started when she was a little girl, trying to keep her mother alive. A war that Hollywood's impossible standards and the media's cruelty only made worse. She didn't need to be saved. She needed to stop saving everyone else long enough to save herself. So here's the arc. A little girl from a broken home becomes the highest paid actress in Hollywood, marries into royalty, gets torn apart by the media, loses herself in a relationship that the world mocked, hits rock bottom, and finally finds peace. Demi Moore is not a desperate has-been. She's not a cautionary tale about vanity or aging or trying too hard. She's a woman who fought a lifelong battle with self-worth in an industry that profits from tearing women down. And she won. Today, at 62, she's acting again. She starred in The Substance in 2024, a horror film about society's obsession with youth and beauty. The role feels personal because it is. She has a healthy relationship with her daughters. She's at peace with her past. She's no longer performing. She's just living. And by sharing her story so honestly, she's quietly giving hope to anyone who's ever felt like they weren't enough. Anyone who's ever believed they had to be perfect to deserve love. Anyone who's ever looked in the mirror and seen only flaws instead of a human being doing their best. The truth we all suspected? Behind the glamour, the red carpets, the iconic roles, and the perfect smile was someone barely surviving. Someone fighting demons most of us will never fully understand. But she survived, and that's the real story. If you want more honest, deep dives into the real lives behind the headlines, hit subscribe and comment whose story you want us to uncover next.